Good morning, everyone. Early morning Bill coming at you to react to the JJ Peterka trade off to Utah. But first, want to acknowledge yes, Walt is not with me, but he will be with me tomorrow, Friday evening at 6:45 p.m. for our NHL draft live stream. Hopefully, you guys can make it with us. Subscribe to the page and it'll show up there on your feed. So let's get right into the trade here. We have Michael Kesselring and Josh Doan from the Utah Mammoth coming back to Buffalo for JJ Peterka. JJ Peterka also signed a 5-year, $7.7 million contract per year with Utah, which, quite frankly, I think is a relatively fair contract, especially if they can up his defensive metrics. Josh Doan, I'm just going to get into first. He is kind of like the sweetener for the trade here. Just a bottom six forward, solid. Obviously, his father, Shane Doan. If you ever watched him, you kind of understand what you'll be getting with him. Hard nose, but can put the puck in the net, sure, but is really just a bottom six forward for the Sabres here, which again, that's something that they tried to remake, especially their fourth line last year. Didn't really work out. Their third line kind of popped off when it came to McLeod, Zucker, and Greenway. The fourth line of Lafferty, Obe Kubel, and Malenstein wasn't great. So if you can add Josh Doan in there, fine, fair enough. The big piece coming back was Michael Kesselring, which they are definitely going to be trying him as a top 4 defenseman. I was about to say top 2 because he is probably the best right-handed defenseman on their defensive core right now. But as you can see here, it's time on ice and probably just the overall WAR, wins above replacement percentage. He's probably more like a second pairing, maybe third pairing defenseman here. He skates like the wind. He has a big shot, but as you can see, not super effective when it comes to offense or defense. He's not a liability by any means either. Penalties not looking great, but at the same time, do you want a little bit more from a right-handed defenseman that should be playing with someone like Dahlin and Power? Maybe, but this is a solid player. Might have some problems when it comes to rush defense from what I was seeing in some of the stats, and we're going to be diving into this a little bit further. This is, like I said, just initial reaction. Sorry, guys. It just needs to be more, quite frankly. I understand that making trades is very difficult. This was your best trade chip. It was. You had so much team control. I understand he didn't have a contract signed, but you had team control. He was just coming off of his ELC with JJ Peterka. It just puts so much more pressure on Kevin Adams to do something with Bowen Byram that is of substance, which, to be fair, he could. JJ Peterka was just traded for Michael Kesselring and Josh Doan. Who's to say that Bowen Byram isn't traded for who knows on the offensive side? That is definitely a concern, though. It's concerning that it feels like they probably could have gotten more out of this, and they probably should have. This isn't against the players, who I will say are both RFAs after next season. This didn't really scratch the itch. Good players, not going to hold that against them. No issues specifically with the players, but I expected more. I think a lot of people are feeling that way. I mean, Frank Saravelli, turns out he was right. And when Kevin Adams was very angry about misinformation out there and brought up Matthias Samuelsson, and everyone just kind of assumed, I don't know if that was necessarily about Matthias Samuelsson. Well, Frank Saravelli was right. He's getting traded. Next thing you know, he got traded. I would have liked to see some kind of pick maybe come back for this upcoming draft if those were the players that you were able to get. It just doesn't feel like enough. Again, this is not an indictment on both the players. They have my support, of course. It is good to see a couple fresh faces come into the team as well. But again, got to say it just doesn't feel like enough. So I wanted to get your reaction as well. Definitely let us know in the comments or on social media what you think of this trade. We will have a lot more coverage. We're going to deep dive into these players as well. So again, this was just an initial reaction. I wanted to see what people were feeling as well. For me, good players that are coming back, sure, but certainly not enough when it comes to quantity and quality coming back to the Buffalo Sabres. So I think they probably lost this trade, but they did get a right-handed defenseman that they were looking for in Josh Doan. We'll kind of see what he can become. And he has a pedigree of his father, which is definitely a good thing. But I don't know, guys. Could be a long week, but hopefully you guys are here with us tomorrow, Friday evening, 6:45 p.m. is when the live stream starts, and we'll see you then.